What's our intro? Hello. I've got a cup of tea now, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I've been playing Control on the PlayStation 4. You're like a woman and you're in a building and you get given a job title as a director, and then you start to be able to smash the place up.
Well, I was playing Jurassic Park video game made by Bethesda because it's on Game Pass at the moment. I was playing it until I rage quit it last night.
How can you rage quit? Isn't it like a theme park style game?
Don't get me started. Well, no, do get me started because I really have been itching to complain about it.
Is that why we're doing this podcast?
You're there with a park on an island. You research dinosaurs and then you can make them and everything. But it's like a theme park, so there's visitors and stuff, which is fine. You know, it's basically a zoo, but dinosaurs.
I mean, it's the premise of Jurassic Park, isn't it, really?
Well, yes. Okay. Yeah, now you say that. That does make me sound quite stupid. But you're trying to, like, keep these dinosaurs happy because some of them have got quite a low comfort threshold. When they break open the fence and then they run out and start going mental and just killing everyone, you have to get one of your rangers to get in their little Jeep and go and fix the hole in the fence, right? I was doing that. There's, like, 2 raptors that have got out of this big enclosure. They're going mental. They're chasing people about. Everyone's screaming. And I'm like, oh shit, like just trying to deal with it. I've got helicopters that are supposed to be tranquilizing it. It's just going mental. And then I go over to the enclosure to make sure the rangers are fixing the fence. And I just see that there's like 5 or 6 guests who have just wandered into the T-Rex enclosure through the hole. And then just as I realise that, the ranger closes the hole on the fence. So these guests have got nowhere to go. They're stuck in this enclosure and they're just bumbling about like, oh, that's nice. And then this frigging T-Rex that I've got just comes blazing out of the trees, starts running at them. They're screaming. I can't get them out of the enclosure because you can't pick up the guests. They're getting murdered to bits. Everyone outside is getting murdered because of the raptors. It's just an absolute nightmare.
I mean, it sounds to me like you're not managing a park properly. You've seen Jurassic Park, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right, so you know the problems, so you can't just go jollying into it and set up a tiny fence for a T-Rex and hope that's going to solve it.
The other thing is just like every 15 minutes or so, Jeff Goldblum comes up.
What, he just rocks up?
Literally every 15 minutes, Jeff Goldblum just appears and he's like, oh, I don't know if we should be doing this. Oh, these creatures should be free.
Is he in the park walking about, or is he like an advisor?
At first, oh, cool, it's Jeff Goldblum. But then, after 2 or 3 hours of him just going, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Just shut up, Jeff! You've sold the game to me. I was a bit unsure about it because it had mixed reviews, but based on what you've said, it sounds amazing.
And also, it's quite limited. Like, there's not actually that much to do apart from try to synthesize more dinosaurs from fossils. But obviously every time you do that, Jeff Goldblum appears and he's like, oh no, I see you've got a triceratops. And you're like, yes, I've got a sodding triceratops, Jeff. Piss off.
I mean, the thing about these games, what always gets me is, I guess it's from like the days when you had like Theme Park on the PC, is I never feel comfortable playing them on a console, like with a controller. Did you ever play Theme Park on the Mega Drive?
Yeah.
With the single D-pad? That was horrendous to move about. And you couldn't save your park either. What's that about? Why make a game on the Mega Drive called Theme Park where you design parks and you can't save your park? Came out on the Jaguar.
I think so.
Which would have been the best version by a mile.
Terrible. Can you imagine with the D-pad with that? That would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Oh, that would probably be my preference over the PC. I'd be like, look at all these buttons.
Oh my god.
Move about with all. You can assign commands.
I mean, you'd probably want to play Jurassic World with a Jaguar, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
You could assign a button for Jeff Goldblum to show up and be like, oh no.
I mean, I would be happy, right, if the Jaguar was the end platform of all times. Get to the Jaguar and they're like, right, we've peaked. We don't need to make any more consoles. That would be fine. I'd be happy today with that. We'd have like Alien vs. Predator 5 by now. It'd be amazing.
For God's sake.
Tempest 7000. It would be incredible.
Have you noticed how every time anyone talks about the Atari Jaguar, in order to try and make it sound better, they always, without exception, and you just did it now, list 2 games, Alien vs. Predator and then Tempest.
That's because
every single time,
listen,
because they're the only half-decent games and they're not even that good.
Listen, right, they are showcases for the platform, right? They are what the platform could have done had it been successful.
You can't release something that has a potential to be good. It has to be good. The Jaguar wasn't good.
No, all consoles are released with the potential to be good, and then developers make it what it is. And the Jaguar just didn't have the chance. And it makes me angry and sad. Disappointed.
Well, do you want me to press the button for Jeff Goldblum for you?
He'll just pop up and be like, oh no. I don't think you should be liking the Jaguar today. He's too depressing. I can't deal with it.
With our last podcast, we talked about perpetual stew, and I was looking at the comments, and I noticed quite a lot of people mentioned this thing called the ship of Theseus, which is a phrase I've never heard of. It's a kind of saying, but it's from an old legend where Theseus had this ship, he changed all the parts of it, so it was essentially another boat. So I was just wondering, like, at what point does something become something else?
This is the thing, isn't it? This is the Only Fools and Horses thing with, what's his name?
Trigger, yeah. He says he gets an award for having a broom the longest, and he's actually been switching the handles and the head for years. Did you know that's actually a joke from medieval ages? It's like one of the oldest jokes ever.
I think if the ship is the same design, and they've changed it gradually, it counts as the same ship. Everything renews in your body, every 7 years you're a completely different person, aren't you? So that literally does happen. But what people recognise in you is the pattern of the person. As long as that's consistent, then you're the same person. If you rip my limbs off and replaced them with, like, Arnie's limbs or something, then clearly I would have some mental issues. I'd be like, I can't deal with this. This is odd.
But if it's a slow regeneration of cells, slow replacement...
Yeah, because people gradually change anyway, don't they?
Okay, so how come you're okay with that, but you're not okay with perpetual stew? Because that is literally what perpetual stew does. Literally.
Perpetual stew, the idea is it's the same stew. But it's not the same. It was not the same stew.
But there's still the idea of it is the same. It's the same.
Different to chucking the bowl away and starting a new bowl.
Oh my god!
It's just they're lazy with the washing up. That's all it is.
Let's move on to the next topic. Jesus Christ. Going back to dinosaurs, you know the ones with the really long necks, like diplodocus, and so just envisage one right now. Would one of them wear a bow tie under the chin or at the base of the neck?
For fuck's sake. It would be at the base of the neck.
No, see, I disagree. I think it'd be under... Well, actually...
People who say it has to be at the top of the neck are ridiculous.
Why?
You don't have it at the top of your neck. It needs to lay flat on your chest. It kind of... It joins your neck to your chest, the tie.
It's not a tie, it's a bow tie.
Same place. It goes
no,
to the
it
same
isn't.
place.
No, it's different.
It is. Imagine how weird you'd look if you put a bow tie at the top of your neck, right under your chin.
Yeah.
Right, and you had a shirt which continued up your neck and then had a bow tie at the top.
Look, all right, think about it. With one of these dinosaurs, the reason why I said one of them rather than a giraffe is because a giraffe has a very, very definite chin, whereas a diplodocus, it's like its entire neck is chin, isn't it? It just keeps going. Where's the cut-off point?
You want base of the neck and then top of the neck at the push, but not the middle.
All right, no, fine. Let's change it. Okay, so he's wearing a turtleneck. I can just hear you seething in complete silence. I know that you're seething.
Imagine how big the turtle roll is. I would have to roll back down the neck. You'd have like an unwieldy tube of material you'd have to roll down. That would be atrocious.
But his neck's going to be cold. Like, you can't just have a shirt that ends at the shoulders for a diplodocus. That's the equivalent of having a short-sleeved shirt, isn't it, for a human?
I think we have to agree that you dress a dinosaur differently to a person. You have to accommodate for that.
You keep getting really angry about double ghosts.
Oh God! I thought we weren't going to talk about double ghosts again.
We're not. We're not. We're not going to. No, but only because I want to talk about the umbrella ghost. There's these ghosts in Japanese folklore, and they're umbrellas.
What do you mean they're umbrellas?
All right, okay, so they're called a kasa obake, which I expect I have pronounced wrong. They're the ghosts of umbrellas.
Look, just get out. If you can explain this in a convincing manner, then I will give you £5.
So they've been knocking around for ages, though. They have one eye and they stand on one foot, and they sort of hop about. They're just, they're generally quite annoyed, I think. I don't think they attack or anything. They just show up and sort of flap about.
What do you mean it's an umbrella ghost?
It is the ghost of an umbrella.
Why would the umbrella
have
a ghost?
And it looks like... Look.
At what stage does that umbrella turn into a ghost? At what stage of decomposition?
I actually don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to find information about it.
No shit!
It's the kind of thing which is depicted quite often.
Is it?
In games that originate from Japan. I mean, look, there's a ghost and it's an umbrella. Okay, shall we You move on.
You're not getting £5 for that.
Oh, come on.
No, yeah, there was no convincing at all. It's just, go on, move on. What's next?
There's a regular thing we could do called Peter's Mardy Minute. I thought I would time you to just rage about a topic that I feed you.
Isn't that what this entire podcast is, essentially?
I'm going to give you a minute to rage about one topic. Ready?
Okay.
Right. Sonic Adventure. Go.
Oh, God. Why? It's the worst Sonic game ever conceived. I know there's people who like it, and there's people who are going to give me shit in the comments because they like it and they're a big Sonic fan. But you go from an amazing game, you go from an amazing platforming game, Sonic 1, 2, 3, incredible, and then they're like, we've got this amazing technology of a Dreamcast, let's make it 3D, and it's shit! You can't control the bastard! It's like, the camera's wonking about all over the place, and then you've got these weird storylines wedged in. It's haggard, it's a horrible amalgamation of features. And that's like the first time I think I heard Sonic's voice as well, and I was like, what the shit is this? Why does he sound like that? He's like, hey, Tails, how you doing? I'm pissed off.
Stop. Well done. Right, ready to go?
How many subjects are you giving me?
I've only a couple. I just want to see how angry you could get. Okay, ready?
Go on then.
Right, Tom Nook, start.
Oh, I'm going to need more than a minute for Tom Nook, aren't I? My God. Absolute capitalist pig from the underworld. Right, that's clearly what he's designed to be. You come to an island, you think, oh, I'm going to have another life. I'm going to have some fun on this island. You get there, and Nook's there, and he's like, hello, mate. How you doing? Here's a tent. Now do these tasks for me, and you can get some more stuff. And you think, oh, well, he's just a guide, that's fine. But then it turns out he owns the entire bloody operation. He's got Nooks on every other island everywhere who are doing the same things, just pouring money into his Nook corporation. And suddenly you have to get a mortgage off him to get your house. And if you don't get a mortgage, you can't do anything. You don't get bigger pockets. What kind of arsehole controls your pocket size? Bank? You have to bank with him. You have to do everything with him, and otherwise you're stuck in this tent on this crappy little island. Absolute dickhead.
Stop. Exactly 1 minute. That was really good. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's good to get off my chest. It's good to get this out. I'd like more time, but this is fine.
Let's do one more. Playing the game Overcooked with me. Go.
Oh, look. I've got nothing against the game Overcooked as a premise. It's a good game, right? But when you're in the kitchen, right, when you're just sitting there trying to add ingredients, it's ridiculous, right? I can't even get from one side of the kitchen to the other because like you waddle over and it's like you've got like ingredients in your hand and then you chuck them in my pan, which I've already put ingredients in. So you ruin that pan. So I have to chuck it out, start again. And then there's no clean plates because you haven't done any clean plates. So I'm sitting there in the corner while you're wrecking my dishes. And then you've got these guys on those levels where those guys are trying to break down the door. What happens then? Like, we're both trying to cook. No one's trying to get rid of the zombies or the guys at the door. And it's just bullshit. It's utter level after level of continuous, utter feces. It's not an enjoyable experience, is it? It's just absolute pandemonium. Frustrating bullshit crap.
Stop. Well done. Wow, you really have a lot of anger in there.
I feel a bit better now.
Can we please have some more kids' jokes?
Oh, God, no.
At Kids Write Jokes.
Name a planet that starts with the letter W.
Don't know.
Wohio.
What?
I tricked you. I added W to Ohio. Ohio doesn't start with W. Man, waiter, how long will my pizza be? Waiter, not very long. Lol. What did the king say to the lollipop?
Don't know.
You should always guard the castle.
What?
He should always guard the castle, shouldn't he?
What's going on with this king? Where he's cracked out some chupa chups and he's like, all right, look, I need you to look after this castle.
Yeah.
The queen and the kids are just like, oh my God, Dad, please, we need to hire some actual guards. There's just lollipops
like, no, mate.
all over the...
There's a lollipop just sticking out of a brick on the front of the booth.
It's just all of these sweets and stuff.
I mean, look, he's still king, isn't he? So he's not doing... He knows what he's doing. Okay, why do leprechauns carry around shamrocks?
I don't know.
Because they're really easy to carry around.
He's just picking up various things. He walks past that king's castle and he's like, oh, a lollipop.
He picks up a lollipop. He's like, oh, a bit heavy. Shamrock? Nice. Why do robbers steal money?
I don't know.
To buy property. What did the orange do in the tree?
I don't know.
Orange business.
What's orange business?
It's just stuff oranges do.
Like what?
They're just orange about, have a good time. Why is dates is eaten on dates? Because it is. Answer, dates. There's two punchlines there. You get a double whammy. Where do skeletons live? Where? The bone house.
What do you mean with the bone house?
The bone house.
Where's the bone house?
They live in the bone house.
Isn't that like saying where do humans live in the flesh house?
That sounds a bit creepy.
What, and bone house doesn't?
What did the cow say to the chicken?
Don't know.
Hello, friend. This joke just says, what is a cow?
Like, what is a cow, though? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's quite funny when you think about it. Knock, knock.
Oh, God. Okay, who's there?
Joke. Straightforward. Straight to the point. It's enough jokes for today, isn't it? It's a good level of jokes.
Absolute classics in there.
I mean, I'm going to use most of them.
So, do you know about the Muck DLT? The Muck DLT was this ridiculous marketing idea that they had. It came in a styrofoam box where in one side of it was the lower half of the bread, there was the cheese, the tomato and the lettuce, and on the other side was the other half of the bun with the hot burger on it. And the idea was you were supposed to create your own burger by putting these two pieces together. Literally all you needed to do was put the hot side onto the cold side. It wasn't that was it. There was just one step, and they made doubled the amount of styrofoam waste for a start. But the commercials were kind of like, hey, yeah, have it your way. Yeah, you can do this. And it's
Make it your way.
But literally all you're doing is putting a burger together.
Yeah. How can you make it your way other than like turning it upside down and having the burger exposed?
Oh, that's it. That's
but look at me. Like everyone's looking at this bloke in the corner having it his way, looking like an absolute chump, getting his fingers covered in sauce.
Kasumatsu. Probably have pronounced that incorrectly, but it's this cheese, right? I think it's actually illegal in some parts of Italy. It's this big cheese which maggots are in, and does have a certain cultural resonance and everything.
What is it with these cheese fiends, right? You get such atrocious types of cheese. It's bad enough blue cheese, which is covered in mould, and someone was like, fucking hell, I'm going to have some of that. Mould's bad enough, but why would you take it to the next level? See maggots and go, fucking hell, if mouldy cheese is that good, I'm having some of that. And then just start decking down rancid cheese.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, it may have been, maybe it came from a time when people couldn't really afford much, so they had some cheese, it went bad, and they're like, oh, I'm going to eat this. Like, there's quite a lot of gross foods which come from that. It's still made, like actively made. People put the maggots in it. I think the rule is that it's not safe to eat it if the maggots are dead. And what people do is they wear glasses or they put their hands in front of their eyes because the maggots jump out and try and get in their eyes.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Why can't they just go and have a pie or something? Some chips, maybe. Why do we have to seek out rancid, maggot-infested cheese and be like, oh, that's it?
Look, I don't want us to appear culturally insensitive. Like,
It's a bit late for that.
It's going to be a little bit. Yeah.
Why does that happen in every episode?
Yeah, I know. Last episode, you were going into a Japanese restaurant and smashing over pots of perpetual stew. I mean, I just find that kind of thing very interesting. Like weird, gross foods that have become part of national identity. Really, I mean, it's like haggis in Scotland. That's a bit grim. That's like intestines and bits and that in a sausage skin.
Yeah, but
it's like, what are you doing?
You can get vegetarian haggis, which is still haggis, and that's really nice. Even normal haggis is a different level to maggot-infested cheese, isn't it?
Well, if you want to eat it without the maggots, you can put the bit of cheese in a plastic bag or something, and you can suffocate the maggots, and then you can eat the cheese.
Why don't you just get normal cheese then?
Well, because it's nice cheese.
Imagine going to a cheese counter and being like, "Oh, I have a pound of that maggot-infested shit over there."
It probably tastes quite nice. It's probably got a lot of
it doesn't
texture
taste quite.
and character in it.
No, these sickos are like, "Oh, let's get some mould in, or let's put some maggots in."
Well, that's
What's
not
gonna
what
be the
happens.
next level.
That is not what happens. People
That
are not like,
is.
"Oh, let's get some mould in." What? Why are they from South London? These
That's
people,
what they're like.
apparently.
They're like, "Oh, let's see how rank we can get this cheese, mate. Come on."
This is a thing that they used to do with Stilton cheese as well, I think.
See?
They used to put mites in it, and it says here
Mites?
that they used to bring a spoon with them for you to eat the mites with as you do the cheese, according to
sick
some bloke
bastards.
writing in the 1700s.
Absolute sickos.
Oh, they're just doing their thing.
They're doing their thing, although we can fuck off and do their thing away from me, which they do. But, I mean...
Well, yeah, obviously, because otherwise you're just there raging. They see you coming, you come bursting into a restaurant and knock over pans of stew.
Just smash the cheese out of this Italian person's mouth. Look like an absolute buffoon from England. Absolute idiot.
You're trying to be subdued by the police. They're like, oh, God, you're just screaming about maggots in cheese.
They're like, he's just come from Japan. He's done the same thing.
You're just doing like a worldwide tour, just dropping off different parts of the world just to absolutely, just completely disrespect people's culture by like just...
Worldwide culture bigot. Just going from place to place. Livid. I'm going to lose it. Swear to God.
Let's get on to our fan fiction. I am going to read you...
Oh, we're doing fan fiction as well, are we?
Yes. I'm only going to... It's very, very short. Half-Life, Full-Life Consequences by Squirrel King. So it is very sweet, because it's very obviously written by a child. But it's very famous, so I don't feel quite so bad. John Freeman, who was Gordon Freeman's brother, was one day in an office typing on a computer. He got an email from his brother that said aliens and monsters were attacking his place and asked him for help, so he went.
I'm off.
No, it's the fact that he sent an email asking for help. John Freeman got his computer shut down and wet on the pavement.
He actually took the time to shut his computer down.
Well, yeah, obviously.
He's like, oh shit, he's in major...
He's got to shut down Windows 95. If you don't...
He's got to do a defrag first. Wait a minute.
Well, John Freeman got on his motorcycle and said, "It's time for me to live up to my family name and face full life consequences." John Freeman ramped off the building and did a backflip and landed.
That's unnecessary. I've blown the whole thing.
No, it's...
He's going to help someone. He can't be taking risks like that. I can't believe he's the kind of person he won't just turn off his computer without risking a hard drive error, but then he'll casually do a backflip on his bike.
He kept driving down the road and made sure there were no zombies around because he didn't have a weapon. The countrysides were nice and the plants were singing and the birds and the sun was almost down from the top of the sky. The mood was set for John Freeman's quest.
I like how he's thought, I need a better way to write sunset. The sun was almost down from the top of the sky. That's it.
John Freeman looked around the countryside and said, "It is a good day to do what has to be done by me and help my brother to defeat the enemies."
Imagine seeing that on film. It's a good day to do what's been done by me.
I just love the fact that he's there, like, just very casually, just driving on his motorbike through the countryside. His brother sent him an email, like, a good 15 minutes ago, like, "Can you please help me? I'm being murdered."
Yeah,
He's just... John Freeman was late, so he had to drive really fast.
Because he was just dreaming.
Because he was pissing about with backflips and making sure that...
Shutting his computer down,
Yeah,
installing Windows updates.
A cop car was hidden nearby, so when John Freeman went by, the cops came and wanted to give him a ticket. Here John Freeman saw the first monster because the cop was possessed and had head crabs. "I can't give you my license, officer," John Freeman said. "Why not?" said the head crab officer back to John Freeman. "Because you are a head crab zombie." So John Freeman shot the officer in the head and drove off thinking, my brother is in trouble, and went
I like how he entertained him for a few minutes. I can't give him my driving license. For a possessed officer, he seemed quite reasonable. Yeah, I saw you do a backflip back there. Looked a bit dangerous. Can I see a license, mate?
John Freeman had to go faster, like the speed of sound, and got there fast because Gordon needed him where he was.
Oh, now he speeds up. I'm going to go at 600 miles per hour.
John Freeman looked at road signs and saw Ravenholm with someone's writing under it saying, "You shouldn't come here." So John Freeman almost turned around, but heard screaming like Gordon, so he went faster again.
He's like, oh, okay. He's got past the crab-headed cop. He shot him. He's done a backflip. He sees a sign saying you shouldn't come here. He's like, oh, okay. Fair cop.
John Freeman drove in and did another flip and jumped off his motorbike, and the motorbike took out some head crab zombies in front of John Freeman. John Freeman smiled and walked fast. John Freeman looked on the ground and found a weapon, so he picked it up and fired fast at zombie ghosts in front of a house. John Freeman said, "Zombie ghosts, leave this place." And the zombie ghost said, "But this is our house."
Like, for fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, John, not again.
And John Freeman felt sorry for them because they couldn't live there anymore because they were ghosts. So he blew up the house and killed the zombie ghosts. So they were.
Oh god, if they turned to double ghosts.
I love that he felt sorry for them, so he just exploded.
Blew the shit out of them.
He was just like, "Oh, sorry," but they were there just floating about having a nice time, and he shows up. Awesome. What a wanker. Ravendome was nothing like the countrysides. There was no birds singing, and the plants were dead, and the dirt was messy and bloody from head crabs. When John Freeman got to where the screaming was started from, he found his brother, Gordon Freeman, fighting the final boss, and Gordon said, "John Freeman, over here!" So John Freeman went there to where Gordon Freeman was fighting. John Freeman fired his bullet from the gun really fast, and the bullets went and shot the final boss in the eyes, and the final boss couldn't see.
Sad. Oh, boss.
Rather than killing him, he's like, "You will live, but without sight." What a bastard. Gordon Freeman said, "It's time to end this once and for all," and punched the final boss in the face, and the final boss fell. John Freeman said, "Thanks, I could help, bro." And Gordon Freeman said, "You should come here earlier next time." And they laughed.
They sound like utter wankers. Right, the final boss is probably
really
a good guy. He's shot a cop. He's blown up a house of ghosts.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, at what point did Gordon Freeman send the email? Because it sounds like he's kind of got this situation covered. Yeah. I mean, the boss was nearly dead. So
paved like a trail of utter carnage to get to his brother, and he hasn't really helped out at all.
They laughed overed quickly, though, because John Freeman yelled, "Look out, bro!" and pointed up to the top of the sky. Gordon Freeman looked up and said, "No! John Freeman, run out of here as fast as you can!" And John Freeman walked out really fast. John Freeman looked back and saw Gordon get stepped on by the next boss, and he was mad and angry. "I'll get you back, evil boss!" John Freeman yelled at the top of his lungs. "To be continued?" Okay. Question mark. So there we go. That was the first.
I mean, that's all right.
First episode.
I mean,
really? I mean, literally nothing happened.
The Freeman brothers to be absolute wankers, and you could make an entire story from that.
I think I prefer the
that was quite lengthy,
the
wasn't
Lord of
it?
the Rings one.
Involved.
Yeah, but I feel like the characters were more sympathetic. Whereas these guys,
these are like
care
rebels
about
without an actual cause. But I love the descriptions in it with the sun and how it speaks about how he moved towards his brother, making all these points clear. Ultimately, though, yeah, just absolute bike flipping assholes. Put him in the cage of Nook.
Right. Okay. I think that's enough for that podcast.
Should we do an outro?
What was? Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for listening to the Octanerdle podcast. I've been Nostalgia Nerd.
Now, I've been Octavius. Bye. I'm going to do a backflip on my motorbike out of the window.
Don't be a wanker afterwards.